There is so much media nowadays for people to love and care for. From shows, movies, games, books, fashion, animals, music, this thing. There's so much to love. So how do you love something single-handedly when you want to spread the love everywhere? Well, you form a fan base. Or you enter polygamy. Fan bases are huge nowadays, as there's so much out there, and to meet people who share the same interests as you, whether minute or grand, is awesome. And sometimes fans can bring together something great to celebrate, like people who have died or the developers of the game they care about so much. But sometimes fan bases are a curse, a bane upon the world, a force for no good. Because sometimes you do the worst thing to some fan bases. Say something negative. Oh no! I knocked over my water. So, today I want to go over some fan bases and explain why having a negative fan base hurts your appearance and your fan base, and really can make the thing you love so very much so unappealing to others.
Some fries, motherfucker. Disguise, motherfucker. Some pies, motherfucker. All rise, motherfucker.
So I wanted to start with TV shows and movies because honestly, I find they have the least weird fan bases. Not saying that there aren't any negative fan bases, but I find that TV shows and movies honestly just have the least like intense fan bases, because there's no direct involvement with like the people or anything, because it's a fictional thing most of the time. You can't really build a connection as great as you can with other pieces of media. The most negative fan base I can say is like not even really a fan base, but it's just like a type of people, and it's film students. The absolute scum of our world. These people are in line with English majors for thinking they understand more than they actually do. The most toxic type of person that if you say that your favorite movie is not a French silent film from the 40s going over the depression of a post-World War II world, then you are an uncreative and gross swine. But again, that's not a fan base, that's just a set of people, but I just really don't like film students. I had to get that off my chest. See, often with films and TV, it's just the long-running franchises and shows that have the worst fan bases. For example, something like Star Wars. I could say it for other franchises like Star Trek or Doctor Who, but Star Wars is the one I know the best. I have been a Star Wars fan for the longest of times, and I've even gotten some of my friends into Star Wars just because of how much I love it. But you would be hard-pressed to find a single Star Wars fan with an ounce of optimism towards introducing this to their friends. Now, an important distinction to make is that a toxic fan base doesn't mean everyone is a deranged maniac. There are stable people in a lot of fan bases, but often or not, the bad eggs just kind of stick out more and make it seem more negative, and the more and more and more bad eggs you have, the more just toxic it feels. Star Wars has been dragged through the mud in recent ages, but Star Wars fans just can't accept that and just go, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. No. They need to hate watch. They need to complain to all the new fans about how stupid and bad those new fucking shows that they like are. They need to complain to these new fans that if your favorite character is Boba Fett, you're a basic bitch. Why the fuck do you not like Ploob and Glub Shitto? If a new fan watched The Acolyte or like the Book of Boba Fett first, I wouldn't be mad at them. Yeah, they aren't the best thing in the franchise, but as long as someone finds enjoyment, I'm happy that someone just likes Star Wars and they like this world that they're watching. But Star Wars fans hate the idea of someone having their own opinion. It shivers them to their core, and at the core of their heart exists only two things: Revenge of the Sith glaze and nothing. They are Okay, sorry for my Star Wars rant, but it's the main thing that comes to mind with like TV shows and movies, because it really just is like the most controversial to me. Some shows like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which I both loved deep in my heart, don't have my favorite fan bases. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them are funny, but sometimes people just think that they're on a different level because they watch these like incredibly popular shows. Like, yeah, they're intense and a little deeper than like fucking a kiddie pool, but you're not like a fucking genius if you watch these. And obviously we can get into a whole nother segment of talking about like anime and all that. I think anime might even be like the worst, but that kind of more gets away from the toxic culture of the show itself and more kind of mixes in with internet culture and like kind of how like the internet perceives them, which is its own fan base, but that's kind of like a Venn diagram of fan bases. So I don't really know where to put anime really, but it's just good to know that a lot of anime fan bases are also really bad. But besides that, I think TV shows and movies are honestly just the most chill. I find like the nicest people, I find awesome stuff in TV shows and movies, and yeah, I think overall they're cool.
The round I buy him a gun, we win.
Thank you. Thank you for believing
The
me.
motherfucker ain't kill nobody.
Now, video games, in my opinion, have many more bad fan bases. And as a guy who would call himself a fucking gamer, I guess, I know a lot of these fan bases. Now, I think that video games have much more dedicated fan bases because instead of watching these characters, you are these characters, so the experience feels so much more personal to the player. And that's why I love video games so much. It gives you a much more deep and pronounced personal experience when you go through like an intense story. But that sadly makes people much more clingy than they should be towards fictional characters and fictional worlds. For example, and I know people love this game, but I have to say it, Red Dead Redemption 2. Look, I am in no way saying this game is bad. I love this game with all my heart. But man, the people and the fan base behind this game fucking suck. Look, I don't think the game is perfect. I think the story is perfect, but the gameplay is a little lackluster. But I swear to God, if you have no top 10 with no Red Dead 2 or anything below a 9 rating on Red Dead 2, you are going to receive a wave of spam from Red Dead 2 fans on where is Red Dead 2? And at the end of the day, it's just the idea of having a different opinion that makes people so fucking mad. So many diehard fan bases from gaming really just don't like it when you share somewhat different ideas. A lot of long gaming franchises really get like the problems that come with this, because with these long franchises often comes an idea of what the game should be, and if it's anywhere different or God forbid worse, so many people are going to be mad. You will never hear people hate a game more than the fans of that game. Call of Duty fans especially have this perfect euphoria in their head of Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2, and if it isn't anything like that, they will complain on Twitter over and over again. When BO6 revealed their new zombies and it wasn't what it was like 10 fucking years ago, people went crazy and made so many outsiders come in and make fun of them. You're literally tarnishing your fan base. You are making yourself look fucking stupid because you don't like what you like. And some single player franchises like Assassin's Creed are also so caught in the past, saying how good the games were a million years ago and how the new ones just suck, and it's just so annoying to listen to these people. As someone who has played every Assassin's Creed game and only likes like 3 of them, I don't know why the fuck I did that, it's so infuriating to see people want the same thing over and over and over. Isn't creative expression at the end of the day kind of like making something new? And even if that new thing isn't great, why do we want the same thing over and over again when we can have something new and fresh? And in that we see a core issue. If a fan base are so caught in the past, new fans may never want to join that piece of media if it eventually rots away according to these fans. So now all these new people who could have found something they really liked are just going to ignore the beginning, not ever finding if they would have liked it in the first place because someone said it eventually gets really bad. If you want an example, I know we're talking about video games right now, but something like Game of Thrones for me, I really do want to watch, but because I hear how disappointing it is at the end, I really just don't want to waste all that time to be disappointed. That's how our psyche works. Why would we want to waste time if something's going to end up bad at the end? I don't want to waste all that time. But in that, we miss the core details. Yeah, the ending may be rocky, but what about those middle parts that we could have enjoyed so much more? And I think that's what fan bases really ruin sometimes, because when they get so toxic, it's just so unwelcoming. But because we never we never get to see if maybe we didn't agree with what these people have to say. What if I watched something like Game of Thrones and I didn't mind the ending, but because so many people are so negative towards it, I just, at the end of the day, I don't start it in the first place. I hate the people who make the thing they love so much so unappealing. But if I thought that video games had this bad and had bad fan bases, the worst fan bases are to be found in... I'm confident to say that music has the worst fan bases by far. And I know this because music is the thing I've gotten the most recently into, and I've realized and found the worst people. I've been watching movies and playing video games since I was like 5, but music is one thing that I got into around 2020, 2021 era, like the COVID era, and yet there is so much garbage out there in terms of fan bases. And I'm not even equipped to talk about all the fan bases of music out there. I am no Fantano. And while I have my like favorite genres that I kind of try to stick to, and I try to branch out into different kinds of music, I can't listen to all of it. And there are some things I just don't like. And yet I still find so many awful fan bases. For example, my favorite artist is Tyler, the Creator. I know I'm white, can you tell? And as much as I love his music, I absolutely despise this fan base. Tyler fans are the type of motherfuckers to think if you don't listen to See You Again and Glaze Wolf for the millionth time, you are supreme and all other music sucks in comparison. I don't know what attracts the weirdos and gatekeepers to Tyler, but boy do they fucking suck. And this is how we transition to our final toxic fanbase move: gatekeeping. Diehard fans of someone or something think that the best thing to do instead of letting everybody enjoy something is that you should hide it and pretend like it's a secret service thing just because they like it and they want it to be obscure. So you're intentionally shutting people out from something you view as really, really good because you don't want so-called normies to hear it or listen to it or experience it. And music fans do this all the fucking time, and it pisses me off to an insane degree. Music fans think that they are so interesting for listening to a song and thinking that it's their song and that no one else can mess with it. Even when the artist is like fucking top 100 most listened to people on Spotify and the song has 200 million views, but because it's not on the top 5 chart, oh, it's so underground. As long as in their demented fucking small minds they believe that the thing they love so much is underground, you're going to be hit with a fucking stick because they think they're so special. Now, there are plenty of bad artist fan bases out there. In terms of like popular rap, I think Playboi Carti has like some truly awful fans, and kind of OPM as a whole, and some Travis Scott fans really bother me, and some big pop stars like your Billie Eilishes and your Olivia Rodrigo have some fucking kooky fans out there. And you notice when someone gets more and more and more popular, that like small song that like some people in the fan base think that they're like gatekeeping becomes so much more special to them because, oh, this person has 50 million monthly listeners, but I am listening to this song that only has 50 million streams. I am a true fan. I am a messiah. When no, you're not. You're probably just listening to something that no one else really likes. So now they have like this superiority complex because they feel they're so much better now. They are so much higher than you little newbies. And I just really hate that. You often see these TikTok videos that's like, oh, if you listen to these songs, you're a fake fan. When really are you really a fake fan if you listen to Humble by Kendrick Lamar? Yeah, it has 2 billion fucking streams, but who cares? It's a good fucking song. This is something else I want to get into like another day, where it's like popular does not equal bad, but that's a topic for another day. So, with all that being said, let's talk about the worst of the worst. And the 2 people I believe have some of the worst fan bases ever. People who create monsters, and these monsters would do anything for their rich corporate overlords. I'm of course talking about Kanye West and Taylor fucking Swift. Let's first talk about Taylor, because I definitely am less defined with her. Taylor's fan base exists in their own realm now, as they no longer are like a weird fan base, but generally just more of a cult. People think that if you just say anything negative about their fucking queen Taylor Swift, then you deserve death, doxing, fucking death threats, fucking like psychic curses. I think I saw someone like put a curse on someone once. They like did a witch spell. And I'm in no way hating on Taylor Swift. I actually like a lot of her music, and I think some of it's really well done. But Taylor fans freak people out and honestly make me scared to even critique her because of the association that comes with her fans. She generally actually has like one of the most welcoming fan bases, but also a fan base that drives you and drives you and drives you into a spiral, and you come out toxic yourself in the end. Then Kanye. As much as I love old Kanye West music, I in no way respect his decisions now, and also I think his new music is pretty fucking ass, so his fall off has been insane. But I have found that Kanye fans are the biggest fucking just like most annoying people ever, who hold the longest fucking grudges, and they just can't even fathom the idea that you don't like some of Kanye West's music. Kanye fans are still hung up on the fact that Fantano gave My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a light 6 so many fucking years ago. Kanye fans are trying to forgive and forget Kanye's extremely problematic choices, but they can't forgive and forget people who don't like him. The worst fan bases are sadly the most loyal fan bases, the people who will go down on their ship. That even when you start making bad music, even when you start saying the worst of things, even when you do the cruelest of things, they will always be by your side, no matter what. The most loyal fans are the worst fans. So today we learned that sometimes fan bases really ruin themselves, and honestly, it probably won't ever stop. To love something is to defend something, and the people who scare newcomers out of their fan bases probably really don't care. I do wish sometimes we were more accepting in our modern day, but hey, what are you gonna do? I really want to end today though by saying there really are many great fan bases out there. People who are just loving and accepting that someone would care about what they love also. We were kind of talking about fantasy sci-fi earlier with like Star Wars, but you know, I've seen really great things from people like in the Warhammer franchise and also like the D&D community. And also I talked a lot of shit about music fan bases, but also so many music fan bases are great out there. Like if we want to talk about like rap music, I am an enormous Denzel Curry fan, and I see nothing but really kind people from him. If anything, he's kind of the worst person in his own fan base. And finally, some gaming franchises like the Zelda franchise are just so awesome and like honestly filled with like the most wholesome people, especially when it comes to like Zelda month and all that. You're going to find good people and toxic fan bases and bad people and positive ones, but I just want to point out that there are some great people out there no matter the circumstance they're in. We consume so much media out there, and I think it's so awesome that with the internet we can also talk about it so much. Sometimes this can lead to the best and worst of people, but in the end it really doesn't matter. Let's just be happy and glad we can all come together and like something. Unless you disagree with what I like, then I'm going to dox you. Sorry, not sorry. Your problem, not mine.